It's SoCan here with Sage Harris, Benita Singh, and Jay Sentry, the three co-writers of a song called Best Kept Secret, which is one of the first songs that was co-written in a SoCan virtual song camp Monday. How was it writing together on Zoom as opposed to being in the same room together? That's got to be a very different kind of experience.
I mean, it was definitely crazy, mainly because it was my fault that I was literally on the road like 90% of the writing process. I was literally driving like I am now in the car. I'm not driving right now, but I'm in the car. And
right.
And it was definitely challenging. Like, at one point where we first had the call and I was in Service Ontario trying to get my license renewed, and literally I had to start singing and humming like while I was in Service Ontario. People are looking at me like, who the hell is this guy? You know?
Yeah, it was pretty unique. Like, we were sending each other stems back and forth because we all have like our own home setup. So yeah, we were kind of like building the beat throughout the day while Sage was on the road and stuff. So it's pretty unique.
Right. So was there, I mean, in terms of how the track came together, was Jay sort of foundational in terms of setting up a basic track, or were you working on everything right from the get-go?
I had actually came pretty prepared, kind of have anxiety with these things. So it was actually my first Zoom session ever. And I didn't really know how it would work out in terms of like connection and them hearing the stuff. So instead of like making something on the spot, I kind of prepped something the day before, and I had opened up the session in the session, and I ended up, I don't know how this came to be, but I had muted the music that I made, and I just started playing new chords randomly, and Sage was like, "That's it," and that's how the song came.
Give you a peace of mind. You won't make up your mind. You do this every time. Go around in circles. Go around in circles. You say you stay sleeping.
Which one of you, or did all three of you sort of say, well, maybe we should arrange it like this or like that? Or was someone responsible for how the arrangement turned out?
We were kind of going back and forth on it, like all three of us.
Well, I'd say we all feed off of each other and created that from top to bottom, whether it was the arrangement, the beat, the song, the written element of the song. Like, everything was just a collaboration, and a lot of it came from just stems of us like feeding off of each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
But I think that direct arrangement with the acapella in the beginning, I think Sage had mocked that up.
I'm trying to say we all did. This guy should have put it.
I mean, he did. He sent back the arrangement like that, and it was good because I was able to kind of hear. I mean, Sage he really is like an expert at mixing the vocals down for himself.
Thank you.
I trusted him with that process, especially the whole. We didn't want to keep going back and forth, right? If Sage could handle it, I let him handle it.
Thank you, man. With the creativity from you guys, it stemmed that. So,
right.
Benita, you've worked before as a top liner, where it's sort of like here's what the sound is and here's what the lyric becomes. So you sort of provided a lyric to an existing track or an existing beat. How much of it was like that this time, or was it more collaborative in terms of the lyric and how that went?
It was, well, actually, so it started off with a sample. And then after, we were kind of working all together on it, and I was doing like some melodies, like just like mumble melodies, like I usually do. And then we kind of like took like maybe the first verse, I think, like some melodies throughout the song, and we just put words to it. So yeah, that was pretty cool. It was a lot of mumble stuff though.
Like, what's the difference between like sending stems back and forth and evaluating it and contributing, as opposed to just being in the same room while you're all listening to the same thing at the same time?
I think like, we could all agree that being in the room it would be easier because especially if the mic is already set up and I could record everyone and everyone could get their idea out as quick as possible. I was still surprised at how like efficient that the writing was over the beat, like how they were so quick to send me the stems, and I also like pride myself on efficiency and trying to get things going kind of quickly. So I'm still happy at how it turned out, as like kind of nervous as I was that we were going to turn out a song on Zoom. I did come prepared, and the only thing I really did change kind of in the core thing of it was the chords, and that had pretty much inspired the whole song. Once I did those chords, Sage was like, "That's it." Benita was like, "This is all we really need," and then we kind of worked around that, and the song kind of came pretty quickly.
They say all this shit about me. Don't let them go and fill you up tonight.
So you mentioned that you're actually been working on a second song together. So I guess working together in the first place was good enough that you thought, hey, let's keep doing it.
Oh yeah, I've been telling Jay, like, he's got to get his ass down here, because like he can't do the Montreal Toronto thing anymore.
Yeah, it was definitely a good like setup, all three of us, and we're definitely gonna keep working after this. Like, it's perfect.
Would you guys recommend a Virtual Songcamp Monday to others, to other writers?
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
hell yeah.
All right. Well, listen, I want to thank you for taking the time today to talk to me. I appreciate it, and I'm glad that the session went well.
And I want to say personally, thank you to you guys and SOCAN for making this happen. And SOCAN's been a big part of my music career thus far. And shout out to Camille, shout out to Raquel, shout out to the whole SOCAN family.
Yes.
I love you guys, and thank you for making this process happen.